Hello, my sisters. It's sabbatical time. I'm going over here to find my feed because I don't see you yet. It looks like it's trying to enable my feed, so I'm not seeing you yet. There we are. Yay! I'm here. And it's so good to see you. I was going to apologize because I'm not super goddessy today, but thank you. It's not really a new look. It's just there's been a lot going on. So hi, it's so good to see you. I have some magic in store for you tonight. We're gonna do 2 rituals tonight. I'm kind of in the mood for ritual. It's so good to see you guys. Oh, thanks. Thank you for the compliments. I really appreciate it. Somebody today said I looked younger, and I thought, well, maybe I have to wear a ponytail every day. You tell someone they look younger, and all of a sudden it's like, I'll never wear anything but a ponytail ever again. So we're going to do a couple rituals today. I'm kind of in the mood. One is related to stage 2 of the manifestation cycle, which is right where we are right now in sabbatical. If you've been doing the work with me, oh, I'm so glad. Ritual always makes everything better. I was kind of off yesterday. I had a little bit of a fever, and you know how when you start thinking I'm starting to feel sick, and then all of a sudden it just like, now I'm really sick. By the end of the day, I was like, I think I've got just a full-blown flu. And then I swear it was maybe a couple of hours later, I was fine. So then I was like, no, go back. Tell him we'll do it. Something in the field. But anyway, it's past, whatever it was. Lots of tea helps. Lots of tea. Okay, so one ritual is about stage 2 of our 3-part manifestation series. For the first 3 months of sabbatical, we're doing ask, believe, receive. Your receive tools are in the shop today. And I don't know if you saw the video, but I'm actually giving you a free perfume because there's receive perfume, but then what came to me in meditation was you actually needed me to stop at the end of that 3rd kit and give you something to integrate the first 3 parts of the full year. Okay, because ask, believe, receive is almost a unit in and of itself. That's the manifestation cycle. That's what we've been working with for the past 2 years in sabbatical, right? Like that's the entire manifestation cycle. After that, once we've done the manifestation work, the rest of it, carries forward. But there almost needed to be a distinction. So instead of offering you something for sale, I'm offering you a gift. Siren, please. Cue siren. They're always right on time. So anyway, Integra, which is your integration perfume. What are you gonna do? Integra, your integration perfume is my gift to you. These perfumes will not be sold to people outside of sabbatical, so this is just for sabbatical. And with the kits, there's only ever one amount, so we're not restocking any of the kits for the year. So that's why I wanted to tell you it's a good opportunity to get your kit today. So today we're working with believe. Next month we'll do receive, and then we'll pause. We're going to do an integration ceremony next month as part of our sabbatical. So I think sabbatical, instead of just being an hour and 15 minutes, I think sabbatical next month is going to be closer to an hour and a half, if not an hour and 45 minutes. So save the date, because I want to do an integration ceremony. I want to formally complete the cycle with you. We're going to send up the final energy of whatever it is you've been trying to manifest. We're going to send it up together in prayer. And I want to do that ritually with you and ceremonially with you. So we're going to do a sacred prayer releasing ceremony next month for your manifestation cycle before we proceed into the remaining months. I'm so excited. I'm glad you like a long class. I don't know how to teach a short class. It was really funny. Back in the old days when I was a college professor, all of our classes were 3 hours. I taught graduate school. So we met once a week for 3 hours, usually from like 6 to 9 p.m. And half the time I would look down and it was 9 p.m. and I had barely... I would look at them and say, I can't do this. Like, I've barely gotten into anything with you, and it's 3 hours. But when I teach, for whatever reason, time's always gone by fast. And I'll tell you, that was a blessing, because my worst nightmare going into being a college professor, I loved teaching and I loved learning. So I knew I would be a good teacher. My worst nightmare, though, is that I would be that professor where you're constantly looking at and you don't want her to know that you're looking at your watch, but you're kind of like, can this just be over with? Like, I feel like I'm dying over here. So I never wanted to be that professor. So the fact that my classes always went really fast for people and they're always like, where did the time go? I thought that was the best thing ever. I don't know. That was a blessing. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Isn't it cute? I got it on Etsy. I don't know where. If I can, I tried finding it today because somebody asked me today where I got it, and I was like, I think I got it on Etsy, but I couldn't find it in my purchases. So if I find it in my purchase history, I'll post the link for you because I think it's right up our little alley. You know, you guys, I can talk about anything. I really like to talk. That's the Libra rising in me. I just like to talk. I like to talk about you. I like to talk about the moon. I'm literally, I can riff, and I think a lot of us can do that too. Thanks so much, you guys. Okay, and then the second ritual we're going to do, which is actually the ritual we're going to do first, is for our country and for our collective consciousness tonight. One of you actually asked, I can't remember who it was, because there were quite a few sisters commenting on my post this morning, my personal Facebook post, about the hearing today with Director Comey. And so one of you said, could we just do a little ritual tonight together to call in clarity and to summon discernment? And, you know, clarity and discernment are not political. You should want that whatever side of this hot mess you're on. So I want to do a quick ritual just to call in some energy streams to support our planet. And if you're with me, then I would love to have you participate in that. So I'm doing a first round smudge just because this is sabbatical and I want you to know why we do what we do. Is anybody here? Oh, it's Ashley. Thank you, Ashley, sweetheart. It was you. Instantly, I'm like, oh, it was Ashley. Thank you again for the suggestion, Ashley. You're a blessing in my life, and that was a very smart suggestion. Is anybody here for the first time? Is anybody new to sabbatical and hasn't joined a live class before? I would love to know that too. So I'm doing a first round smudge with Salvia apiana, which is white sage, also known as ceremonial sage. I'm realizing I want to get back to basics a little bit with you, just to cover off on some things that maybe you know, but maybe you don't. Salvia apiana. So salvia is sage in Latin. Apiana is the variety. And so when you have, you know, botanical names, the first name is usually the major genus of the plant, and then the secondary name in Latin is the species. So Salvia apiana is what we're working with when we use white sage. Salvia apiana is native to Baja, Mexico, but grows as far north as Santa Barbara, California, as far east as the Anza Borrego Desert, but no more east than that. It does not extend beyond, I mean, literally, here's the edge of the Anza Borrego Desert en route to Arizona. Salvia apiana does not grow beyond the border of the Anza Borrego Desert. It's almost miraculous in that way. And then the lower boundary is just the southern tip of Baja, Mexico. And so that's the only place to get Salvia apiana. Anywhere else that sells it is importing it. And it is an endangered species of plant. So I thought you would like to know that. Rita Kelly is new. That's so good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Really want you to know that we're grateful that you're here. Anybody else new tonight? Gabriella is here for the second time. Beautiful. Welcome, you guys. So I really, really appreciate you being here, and I want you to know that if you're new, we're so glad to have you. One of the things I treasure about sabbatical is you're never new. Like this, you may be meeting us for the first time or working with us for the first time this way, but we're going to welcome you with big open arms, and you're going to find a really unconditionally loving sisterhood here. And with me personally, there are no dumb questions. I really like to get to know you. And so every time you ask a question, it allows me a little bit of access to your energy, which feeds our relationship. So you're free to ask me anything, anytime. I'm so glad Rita says she's feeling the love already. It's true. I'll tell you, I struggle with women. I have always, in my personal life up until the last decade or so, I preferred the company of men because I found that women couldn't. They might say one thing to your face, but something behind your back, or women would be sort of catty and belittling. And I've always wanted to rise above that. I don't find that interesting at all. In fact, I find it very destructive, and I actually think it's very self-destructive to have a group of women. And Sabbatical is 5 years old. To have a group of women where there's genuine love and care and affection, and you're not going to be judged. Do you know that in the history of Sabbatical, I've never removed a post? I've never had to. I mean, it's just the kind of ethic of care, a standard of care that we share among each other, and the unconditional love that you find in that space. You can come to us with anything. With anything. I mean, literally anything, because you're not going to shock us. So I'm glad you feel it. And what's beautiful is the container, it's everybody's responsibility. Everybody holds that container with a lot of grace and a lot of compassion. And so it's not me, really. It's you know, and Melissa's sort of echoing what I was saying. So it's beauty, it's grace. That's right, Sabrina. So I'm going to do a secondary smudge. This is mugwort. This is black sage. Mugwort is also a member of the sage family, but it is a member of the Artemisia family, which is a variety of sage. Artemisia grows wild throughout much of the same region, and so is actually a very specific variety of sage, Artemisia sage, that grows in Southern California called Californica, which if you've ever bought an Artemisia bundle from me, those were the days where I was harvesting Artemisia Californica out of my backyard, my dad's backyard. Black sage is a heavier sage for deeper protection. Mugwort is known as the witch's herb. Yes, and so mugwort is known as the witch's herb. And so it's thought to banish any negative energies, anything harmful to you in your space. And so what we're calling in mugwort for tonight is supreme protection and a banishing of fear for all of us. And then one of the things you can do too, a beautiful way to use your ceremonial incense, is if you just take a pinch of it and put it in the bottom of your abalone shell. Just sprinkle it in the bottom of it. When you put your sage bundle out, when it's burning and you put it out, it's going to release all of the smoke from the resin. And so you're automatically going to be smudging with your ceremonial incense without even lighting it, which is kind of a cool tip. We sometimes have black sage bundles, mugwort bundles, and we sell it under black sage. I'm actually not sure if they're in stock right now. If they're not, I can try to get it back. It's not always available. Some of these are seasonal. We're very lucky because the person who supplies our sage, it's sustainable, it's organic, and we actually support him by working with his farm. And so it's a beautiful relationship that we have. So those are our sages for today. Okay, and then I'm going to, just because we are doing ritual, I'm going to open a sacred circle, calling in energies of divine light and protection to surround us as we gather together. Guardians of the East, we call upon you tonight as we enter into circle together, me and my sisterhood. We call upon you for something of a new beginning, something of clarity, a little bit of movement, a shift in the paradigm, which any paradigm shifts, any transition is always going to begin in the East, because East is the potential. East is the turnover, right? It's the spinning of the wheel, and so everything begins in the East. So Guardians of the East, as we welcome you into our circle tonight, we ask you for clarity. We know that Brother Eagle flies in the East, and Eagle provides us supreme clarity by rising above circumstances and having that 30,000-foot view, that 30,000-foot view that brings us much more clarity and perspective. So we call upon you in the East for perspective tonight. In the South, we welcome the Guardians of the Gateway. We ask for your courage during these difficult times to help us to hold steady to our goals, to our visions, to our dreams. And we ask in the South for a blessing upon each sister in this circle tonight and those who will watch later, for the courage that she needs to step fully into the vision of her life that she's imagining. And we ask for a little bit of lightheartedness, a little bit of humor, a little bit of ability to laugh at ourselves and our circumstances in the South, because we need that comic relief. And so in the South, we give thanks for all of this and more. Guardians of the West, we come to you this evening to the water's edge. The West is where the grand oceans begin. And so in the West, we turn towards you, Grandmother Ocean. We ask you to help us surrender what is no longer serving us tonight in the West. We call upon Crow in the West for clarity. We call upon Crow for messages. Help to make the messages clear. Crow, activating the third eye and access to the upper chakras so that we can see clearly. Far sight into the future and into the past so that we can learn our lessons. Learning from the past will help us to be braver and more successful in the future. So we thank you, Guardians of the Western Gateway. In the North, Guardians of the North, we come to you tonight primarily. We are sitting in the North tonight, girls, because we are coming into this ritual to open our circle tonight with a focus on wisdom. Guardians of the North. This is where our great teachers, the great masters, the paternal ancestors, my hands are just on fire as I tell you this. The North is where all of them reside. The North is where those strong, slow-moving animals, black bear, moose, and elk. This is where the deeper, slower, older, more powerful wisdom resides. The power of the wizard, the power of the master. Here in the north, we come to you tonight. We call upon you for wisdom, and we ask that you transfer wisdom to us in ways that we can understand. Help us to access and to know. Help us to see events before they unfold and occur, and help to protect us here in the north. In the north, we know that we have a shield. And so when we access the entry here, we know that we are coming upon a shield. And it is the shield of the paternal energy, the great Father who wishes to keep us safe. And so in the north tonight, we come to you. That's right, we are here, you are here, we are here. We enter the north with reverence, and we call upon you for all of these things tonight and more. And with that, amen, aho, so it is. Our great circle is open. That felt good, didn't it? Right into that heart space, right into your anchor. You know, it's like any time you need to reconnect, like in the middle of a weird day, or in the middle of some turbulence in your life, guardians of the east can bring you clarity. Guardians of the south can give you courage. Guardians of the west can give you nourishment and support. Guardians of the north can give you protection and safety, and that's all you really need to get there. So aho. Okay. So while we are in this beautiful sacred ceremonial space, I'm actually going to anoint right now. I already have Believe on. If you have your Believe perfume, because what I'm actually going to teach you about believing tonight through mantra. That's where we're headed. And then we're going to use our mantra in ritual. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I'm not sure which part you want me to repeat. When I do invocations, I just riff from my soul, so nothing is written down. Sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it's an okay thing. But it always feels right. It's really hard for me to read things from a script, so I tried to just go with that. You're so very welcome. It did feel quite channeled, I must tell you. Okay, so our Believe ritual tonight is actually I'm going to do it with a mala, because we are going to recite a sacred mantra tonight together 108 times. I'm going to teach you about using mantras for manifestation tonight, which I think is going to be really powerful for you. This is the first time actually tonight that I'm using a jop mala in ritual. If you have a 108 bead mala, I've got quite a few around here. If you have a 108 bead mala, I would love for you to get it and have it with you so that you can do ritual with me, alongside me. If you don't have a mala, there's a ton of them at Sage Goddess, and you might get hooked on using a mala. These are two of my favorites, by the way. These are those inlaid Tibetan malas that we had. I don't know if you guys saw those, but these are handmade in Tibet. Is this the most gorgeous thing? It's turquoise and coral in bone. Isn't that stunning? I think something like that on one of your beautiful, Buddha statues, there's nothing more beautiful. So if you have a mala, grab it. Not for right this minute, but that's going to be our second part of our ritual. Oh yeah, so the directions, right? So in the east, we go to the east for breath, for renewal, for clarity. We go to the south for courage, and sometimes a little playfulness, a little trickster energy. We go to the west for nourishment and support, and we go to the north for wisdom and for protection. Very cool. Yeah, so let me tell you about Believe, since you're asking about the essential oils in Believe. It's only 2. It is sandalwood, pure sandalwood essential oil, and turmeric root essential oil. Did you like it? Believe is pretty special to me. And part of it is turmeric. So Believe, the whole process of believing, and again, we'll come back to this in just a minute because I want to do a quick healing ritual for our planet. The whole, yes, Colin, the female ancestors are in the west. So the male ancestors are in the north, and the female, the grandmothers, are in the west. Does that make sense? Thank you for asking for that. Yeah, a little bit. That sandalwood is really smoky. Did you notice that? Because Hawaiian sandalwood is sweeter. Indian sandalwood is a little smokier. And you'll start to parse it out. So when you get sandalwood beads, I have a sandalwood bead mala here. When you buy sandalwood beads, and that smell that you smell on them, that is Indian sandalwood. The Hawaiian sandalwood really isn't. You don't find malas made out of Hawaiian sandalwood so much. It's usually the Indian sandalwood that your malas are made out of. You like it. Well, here's the thing. So I just blended Believe with Elder Council, and honestly, it would blow your mind. Believe plus Elder Council is crazy. I mean, it's because Elder Council has, I want to say 11 essential oils. I just made the new batch of Elder Council, by the way, and now we're going to schedule Elder Council. Remember I told you I didn't want to schedule Elder Council until I had finished this batch of Elder Council perfume. It's done. I always like to make perfumes at the full moon or the new moon, depending on the intention. So this is in the full moon window, finished it today, and so I'm really excited for you. Because those of you who don't have Elder Council, I will go so far as to say this. You have to have Elder Council in your collection. If there was only one Sage Goddess perfume that you were ever going to buy, this is a big statement, by the way. If there was only one that you were ever going to buy, ceremonially that you would use in your life and say, wow, that perfume is magic, it's Elder Council. It has not changed. The ingredients are incredible. They're specifically sourced, because it doesn't smell the same if I source the ingredients from anywhere else in the world. It's like this. And the recipe was very special. How it came about, there's a whole story behind it. So anyway, the perfume and the incense are the exact same ingredients. One is a powder and one is an essential oil. I actually have a customer who said she likes the incense better, and she mushes the incense into her skin and wears it as a perfume, almost like a solid perfume. So she just takes a pinch and sort of mushes it into her clothes and into her hair, and you can do that. It's a totally different way to work with incense. So anyway, if there was one, like if you said I can only have one for my whole life, it's a crazy statement to make, but I would say it's Elder Council. And that's not because of how it smells, it's because of what it is. It honors the 7 grandfather spirits in the Native American tradition, and so so in that way it's connected to the Chimpi stones and everything else. There's a real lineage to Elder Council. Yeah, the Egyptians had something similar in Kefi. Is that what you're asking about, Angela? So Kefi is a very special incense made only in Egypt. We've actually made Kefi here before. But with Kefi, you have to have different resins. You have to have honey, a very specific kind of honey. You have to have a pine resin, an oleo pine resin. The oleo pine resin has to be harvested from a specific kind of tree that really doesn't grow west of the Mediterranean. So it's like this whole thing of trying to create Kefi is a ritual in and of itself. By the time you have all the ingredients to create Kefi, it's almost like that's magic. And so I actually made a Kefi perfume because I had the oleo pine resin that we were able to boil down, and I had all the beeswax absolute. I actually made a really beautiful Kefi perfume. So that happened back in the day. You guys are so tapped in. I love it. Well, so if you want to talk more about all this, I want to get to the rituals for tonight, but we can, and we can take it offline too and go to the Sabbatical group to kind of give you more backstory about all of this. Okay, let me check. And you know what's really funny? So Elder Council incense takes a full day to make, because we have to freeze all the resin, process all the resin, and then boil certain things down. We have to add all the essential oils. Like it's a huge ritual too. What I might think about doing is doing it toward the end of this month as sort of a summer solstice ritual of making it, which would be a beautiful time actually to create that incense, just in terms of the energy in the field. So let me think about that. Oh, cool. So my team actually put a link for those Tibetan prayer beads up, just in case you wanted to grab those, because I don't think we'll have these back. It's kind of neat to have a mala made out of handmade beads. You know, it's like really you're holding something that is ancient. Okay. So coming back into that, just that. Oh, thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate it. Coming back into that receptive position, you know, roll your shoulders back, hands on your knees, or just with your palms facing up. Just taking a nice deep cleansing breath. And so I want you to imagine, this is one of my favorite meditations to do when I'm nervous or when I'm seeking wisdom. Okay, so and I've never shared this with Sabbatical before, but I think you're going to love it. Okay, so, and this is such a simple one, and I've been doing this in the mornings. Like this morning I found myself sort of just agitated because of the collective energies, and after I did this, like my shoulders were up here and I just felt myself go, you know, it's like it's almost just softening once you feel like you have that support. So as you extend your arms out, I want you to imagine that one of your ancestors, I want you to imagine there's a line actually ahead of you of ancestors, spirit guides, gurus and teachers. I don't like the word guru, but it's a Sanskrit word, and so because it freaks me out when people say they're a guru, but it actually is a Sanskrit word for teacher. So when I say guru, I don't mean like a weird person. I mean like an ancient teacher. But imagine that there's a line of guides and ancestor spirits who've crossed to the light, and sacred teachers from your past, maybe even from past lives, high priests and high priestesses, kings and queens, anyone down your line, fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers, mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, all the way down the line. You can even ask to connect to ancestors who are ahead of you down your line. Grandchildren, great-grandchildren, which is really fun to do. I actually do that sometimes. I go in and I try to connect with these spirits of my grandchildren because I want them to know me now. Not that I don't think they do, but so I actually intentionally go in sometimes and not, I don't work back down the line sometimes. I just focus on the future. It's a fun thing to do. But I want you to imagine that you are extending your hands out like this, and that one of your ancestors has come forward, and there's going to be a transfer. Okay, a transfer of energy and a transfer of wisdom. So when the first ancestor approaches, I want you to extend your hands out to receive, and I want you to imagine that ancestor spirit coming towards you and placing his or her hands down over yours and transferring. And guides, ancestor spirits, my hands are like on fire. We ask tonight for a download or transfer of your wisdom and your guidance. Know that that transfer doesn't have to take place with words. It doesn't have to be spoken. It can just be a sense or a feeling. Transfer to us tonight, guides and ancestor spirits, any codes, any information, any wisdom from past, present, or future to help guide us in our path. Please transfer this information in a clear way, in a usable way. You can transfer blessings to us in this space as well, if there are any blessings that you wish to bestow upon us in this time. Fast forward our development tonight and help us to access wisdom that previously has been hidden. We thank you for this wisdom, and we bless you as you return. And then the next ancestor comes, and sometimes I just sit and let them do this one after the other. Ancestor spirit or guide or guardian, we ask you for the transfer of information tonight. We thank you for the blessing of this wisdom. Help us to fast forward, to have clarity and discernment. You can also, if you wish and desire, bestow upon us blessings at this time. And we thank you for the connection, the wisdom, the information, the insight. Amen. Aho, so it is. And then what I do is I keep going with this until I sort of sense that the line is slowing. Because sometimes you'll get one or two who come through, and then I've had times where I've just gone for an hour. I mean, until I can't do it anymore because I have to go do something. So what I try to say is, okay, I'm ready for one more. I'm ready for one more download, one more channel piece of information. Guide, guardian, ancestor, spirit, I thank you as you approach. And as you download to me, to my sisterhood, wisdom, information, guidance that will serve them on their path. We ask for this acceleration in our development, for clarity, discernment, wisdom. Can also, if you feel called, bestow upon us blessings at this time, advancement, manifestation. And we thank you for this wisdom and this guidance. Amen, aho, and so it is. Do you like it? Feels good, doesn't it? Ah. So good. It's so good. And what you can do too in that meditation is, like, let's say you have a tool like, you know, here's my mala, right? So you can say, guides, guardian, ancestor, spirits. Isn't this cool? Guides, guardians, ancestor, spirits. We ask for your blessing upon this sacred tool to infuse this mala. And if you want to hold yours up right now, we can bless, you know, a necklace. It doesn't have to be a mala. It could be a necklace that you're wearing. Why don't you choose something? Choose something right now that you want to do this exercise with, and we'll ask for blessings upon it. So I'll work with my mala. You work with whatever you'd like. I'm actually giving this away tonight. I wasn't going to tell you this till the end, but I have a mala to give away in case one of you doesn't have one. So I'll do it for both of ours. Oh yeah. No, you might, honestly, you might get kind of, you know, hit by a crowd. Sometimes when the ancestors come, they don't want to wait in a line, so they all kind of gather around. That's okay too. Okay, so this is a hematite mala. So, guides, guardian, ancestor spirits, we welcome you. Tonight we ask for prayers and blessings upon the amulet or talisman or mala or malas that we are holding. We ask that you infuse these sacred tools with wisdom, discernment, judgment, with appreciation, with love and kindness, with surprise blessings and miracles. We ask that you work through these tools to continue these blessings into our lives. We're so grateful for your presence, your wisdom, and your guidance. Allow these tools and talismans and malas and amulets to be teaching tools for us so that you can transmit information to us clearly and easily, and help us to use this information in a good way, to love and to nurture and support each other and our planet. We ask for divine blessings upon these tools so that each time we use them, each time we wear them, we are reminded of your presence. And then we thank you tonight. Amen. Aho, so it is. Okay, so now what I want to do, we sure have summoned a lot of beautiful wisdom and a lot of beautiful information tonight, right? So what I want to do is I want to do one more round of this, okay? Thanks, you guys. I appreciate that so much. I want to do one more round of this. So guides, guardian, and ancestor spirits, not just mine, but of the collective, I call upon you tonight to transfer to us as a collective wisdom, discernment, balance, protection, and many blessings. And there is such dis-ease and anxiety in the field. We call upon you to transmute that tonight. We call upon you for clarity. We call upon you for blessings. We call upon you for wisdom. We call upon you for peace. We call upon you for balance. We call upon you for our Mother Gaia. We call upon you to protect her, to protect our precious resources, to protect this planet, to protect every body of water in every landmass, to protect every creature on every landmass. Where one of us hurts, all of us hurt. So we call upon you for blessings upon our planet. We call upon you for peace in the minds of every single person on this planet. Total peace. For a channel of love that will divinely pour from you to them. We ask that you open up lines of communication where they're now closed or blocked. We ask for hearts full of compassion and beauty. We ask for the opportunity to practice peace. We ask for protection and safety for all of us, for the collective. Let all beings be safe. Let all beings be happy and free. Now what I like to do when I'm receiving and then channeling and sending out is just sort of extend my hands. So first I'll extend them to you. May you be happy and peaceful and free. And then we'll extend them above. May our connection to the divine be clear and the blessings flow in two directions so that our lives are a blessing to the divine. And then extending out, sending those blessings to our entire planet, our brother and sisterhood that extends around this entire glorious planet. I was watching my globe last night turn and just thinking, what a beautiful planet we live on together. Every single part of this world is so beautiful. And then to the below, sending these blessings down to Mother Gaia, to the ancestors' bones. Your lives were not lived in vain. We have learned. We are learning. We are creating. We are growing. And we thank you for the lessons that you learned and passed on to us. And then calling it all back up into your heart space. Amen. Aho, so it is. So it is. So it is. That's so beautiful. Angela says, every morning I ask that Archangel Raphael place an emerald green shield of light around the earth to help heal the world. Cheers to that. All the blessings, all the time. Absolutely divinely beautiful. Thank you for that. Okay, so I want to say a few things to you tonight about believing. And some of them are magically related and some of them are sort of personally related. So if you've been with me for a while, you know that I never take my ring off. It says believe. It's always on my finger. You don't have to cut my energy cord if you don't want to. I have a strong cord. Mine is one you don't have to cut. You don't have to send my energy back to me. But thank you. Oh, it's so beautiful. So good. Okay. So that's because the most important word to me of all words is believe. It's not receive. Because I have been more blessed in my life by learning how to believe, how to have faith. My mom's middle name is Faith. And it's a very unique middle name. You just don't meet a lot of people whose middle name is Faith. And her mom was a minister. So she was a woman of faith. And so when that name got passed down to my mom, I really loved it. I didn't give it to my daughter, but I thought about it for a minute. Oh, I'm so glad. So anyway, that is the whole concept of faith and trust and believing and surrendering, to me, has been the source of the biggest magic in my life. Yes, receiving is special. Okay, I mean, yeah, the whole point of manifestation, right, is to receive. Oh my God, Nancy said her sister's name was Faith. Do you know how rare that is for me, Nancy? I mean, I literally almost never meet anybody with that name. So it sounds like you guys are having some technical challenges. I don't know if my team is seeing that, all the freezing, but I want to make sure you guys are well taken care of. It doesn't look like I'm freezing, but anyway. Am I back? Okay. I don't know. We've got really nice internet connections. I don't know exactly what's happening, but so anyway, believing is where the magic happens. Cue siren. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so, and the reason I'm telling you this is this is the part of the manifestation cycle that is the hardest. It is not hard to ask for something, and it is not hard to receive something. The space between, I don't know if you remember the Bone Dance song that we released not too long ago. Did you guys download that? It was me talking basically with a beautiful musical background. It was sort of like mantra in a way, but it was in English, not in Sanskrit. But anyway, one of the things I said in that beautiful song is that magic is the space between. Magic is the space between, I don't know what's happening with the internets. Magic is the space between the ask and the receipt. I don't know what to say, guys. Maybe you're frozen because there's been 94 sirens in the last 40 minutes and it's freezing your internets. I know. I think about that too. Whenever I'm like, when there's multiple of them, I always sort of like take a deep inhale, you know? Anyway, I could tell you stories about that. I love it. Kelly's like, I believe it will quit freezing. We have faith it will not freeze. Yeah, maybe we just need to, let's do that actually. So sending love and light to those beautiful firefighters who are attending the souls who are in need in this moment, sending them peace and easy transfer of energy, safety, protection, healing, wellness. Amen, I hope so it is. Sometimes things happen like that over and over again because it needs your attention. So, amen, I hope so it is. Okay, believing is the space between. It is so easy to ask the universe for stuff, and it's so easy to be real happy when it comes, okay? But sometimes it's a day between the ask and the receive. Sometimes it's a month. Sometimes it's a year. Sometimes it's 5 years. And what's really funny to me is people don't, you know, jeez. I wish I could help you guys with the freezing thing because I'm not seeing it. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. But anyway, I'm going to keep talking. Am I back? Okay, I'm back. Okay, so one of the things that I notice in people who aren't in this program, right? Magical Sabbatical Sisters, they understand that, like, you got spirit time's not your time. But a lot of people will say, well, Athena, I bought this candle and I burned it twice and my wish didn't come true or whatever. And, you know, what I always want to say in a gentle way is that's not how manifestation works. I think the universe really waits on you. Sometimes it's a test of your faith. Like, how bad do you want this thing? And sometimes I think the universe waits on you even more staunchly when it's something big. You know what I mean? Because the universe will kind of go, but do you really want it? But do you really want it? Do you really want it? Do you really want it? And so I think that the believe period for big manifestation, for big intention setting, I believe that that process can be a very long time depending on how big the thing is that you're trying to manifest. Because the universe, when we set an intention and we say, oh, I want to create X, Y, and Z, the universe will kind of goes for the ride with us a little bit. But sometimes when it's really, really big, I do think the universe will say to us, are you sure? Are you sure? No, but are you sure? And we have to keep saying yes, 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 yes. And if we start going, I don't know, maybe I'm not sure. Do I really want this? If we start waffling, then the universe goes yank and no more. And I think it's almost parental. Now I'm sharing my perspective with you, right? Like what I think happens in the ask, believe, receive cycle. But I do think the universe really waits on it. And so with everything in my life, it has been a huge process. And the number one tip I can give you for manifestation, because I'm a really good manifester. I really am. I mean, I have to admit, I'm good at manifestation. I think I've sort of cracked the code, and I will tell you, it is not easy. It is not always fun. But the main thing for me, and when I have manifested the most in my life, is when that's right, Colin says it's not a vending machine, for God's sake. When I have manifested the most in my life, it's been when I was focused on the process, but not on the outcome. Does that make sense to you? I mean, I think about Sage Goddess, which, it's really funny to me when people start businesses. I didn't start a business when I opened Sage Goddess. I just wanted to be able to offer my sage bundles to some of my friends who weren't local and wanted a place to go online to buy it. I wasn't trying to start a business. And then when I went onto Facebook, I was like, well, I would just like to have a community of people who are like-minded and where we can talk about ritual, because there wasn't very much happening 6 years ago. There just wasn't much out there. I think people who say, I'm going to open a business, like sometimes I'm not judgy, but it's just sort of like, what's that? I mean, your goal is to have a business, but why are you doing it? Like, what are you trying to give to the world that the world needs? Rather than going that, here's what I'm going to do, and here's the gap I'm going to fill, and I'm going to enjoy this, and I don't know where it's going, but I'm going to go for the ride, versus here's my business model, I didn't have a business model. Now you could say that wasn't smart, but I didn't have one, because I didn't think it was a business. So anyway, what I want to say is, when I focused on just the process, I want to build a community of like-minded, I want to spend time with people, I want a sisterhood of people I can teach and also learn from, that people I can really trust, women I can really trust and connect with. Like, the whole thing for me was process. I want to enjoy the process of meeting them, and I want to enjoy the process of growing a community with them, and I want to enjoy the process of showing them things and sharing. And when you're focused on the process, the outcome, all of a sudden you look up and there's an outcome. But I think when you focus on the outcome, it's almost like the process becomes an afterthought. And I think the universe, I don't know if the universe is judgy about that, but I do think you have to, if you're focused on money, or if you're focused on something that isn't about your heart and soul and what you're meant to be doing on this planet, I think it's very hard to succeed. So let's take this out of a business context, right? I just share that because I do think that part of the secret for me and what I've done in my life, I mean, I manifested health, right? That's a process. That's me saying, you know what? I'm going to enjoy the process of getting healthier. And then you look up and the outcome is there. I'm going to enjoy the process of eating cleaner foods so that I can focus, my concentration is better, and my body feels better. There's not so much inflammation. And then poof, there's an outcome. I didn't start with an outcome in mind. I didn't say, oh, I'm going to go on a diet. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm going to clean up my act because I don't feel great and I want to feel really good. So I think, again, it's process versus outcome. Look in your own life. You could say, I want to get married, right? There's no better example of all of this that I'm talking about than women who just say, I just want to get married. Thank you. Claudia's here for the first time live. Welcome, Claudia. And Denise says she's late, but you're just on time. Never late. Anyway, I just want to get married. Really? What kind of relationship is that going to bring you? Versus, I want to find someone that I will enjoy spending my life with. We can go out to the movies together, and we can have fun together, and imagining all the things you would do with this person. And then you look up, and the person says, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. But does that make sense to you? Process versus outcome. Okay, so believe is the process. The reason I'm spending all this time talking to you about this is because believe is the process, not the outcome. And because what I have learned, for what it's worth, and here's the thing. April says I'm so outcome oriented, but here's the thing, April. I mean, a couple of things to sort of like nourish you on that. In some ways we have to be, right? You have to be outcome oriented when you have bills to pay and you have to be able to pay your bills. You have to be outcome oriented when you're in college or in school, because you have to complete certain objectives to get a degree. So there are certain, and if you're in a corporate job, for goodness sake, then you're totally being coached toward an outcome based model. So that's not a wrong thing, but I think if we reorient ourselves a little bit, especially when we're talking about manifestation energy, it's like constantly ask yourself, am I focused on outcome or process? Okay, well, how do I get back to process? Because process seems to be more divinely supported by the universe than outcome. Outcome is an outcome of a process, so your attention ends up being in the wrong place. Totally. I mean, it's a challenge for us. And it's funny because women are naturally process focused. As women, process is our domain. So it's actually kind of foreign for women to focus on outcomes. I know it sounds funny, but outcomes are a male domain. So we are naturally process oriented, which in traditional sort of heterosexual relationships, for example, that tends to drive men nuts. Because women are so process focused and men are like, what are we going to do? How is it going to happen? Where are we going to go? What do I need to bring? All that stuff, right? That's right. It's also future versus present. I think that's very, very true. Okay. So I'm telling you all this because believing is where the magic happens. It's just hard to see that sometimes. So here's my definition of believing. Are you ready? What does it mean to believe? To me, believing means that you are drawing upon spirit as your primary source of support and encouragement. Believing means you are drawing primarily on spirit as your source for support and encouragement. Yeah? Relying primarily on source as on spirit as your source of support and encouragement. What does that mean tactically? So tactically what that means is when I'm in the process of building big magic, like I am right now, I don't talk very much about it. Because I'm relying primarily on spirit as my source of support and encouragement. When you are in the belief stage, you have to think about this as a little incubator. Okay? Like imagine just having a little petri dish, a little incubator, and inside here is your little dream, whatever your heart's little desire is, and you put that in that little incubator box. It's the same thing. What's the process for a baby? Karen's asking. Same thing, right? So put your little vision, your little dream in this little incubator, and imagine trying to really contain that energy. The more you tell people about what you're trying to do, the more that energy, it's hard to keep that little container closed. You start going like this, and all of a sudden the energy is like, it's moving, but you don't really want energy. It dissipates, yeah? So you want to kind of keep the container on that incubator by not telling people so much about what you're trying to do. Now, what I always say is in Sabbatical, we're a little more lax in terms of sharing because it's a tight container, and we automatically know we can't tell anybody what you're sharing with us because we have strict confidentiality. But I'm talking about just blabbing it everywhere. All your friends, all your family. Oh, have I told you about what I'm doing? Oh, have I told you about what I'm doing? Oh, and it's just like, the energy just, it flitters away. And then people say, oh, it took so long to manifest. And it's like, well, the universe has to like pick up all your pieces and put it back in the bag. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I imagine the universe like going behind us with a Swiffer sweeper trying to pick up all of our magic that we're like throwing, That's right. Norma says it's like cooking. Put the ingredients, let it cook. The more you stir and mess with the food, it dissipates flavor and texture. That's right. It's a containment. But nobody talks about this very much. Again, people when they're talking about manifestation, they're like, law of attraction and law of attraction is real. But there's other steps in the process, I guess is what I'm saying. And I'm trying to fill in those blanks. And one of the steps in the process is surrendering, and one of the steps in the process is containment, incubation. It's really, really, really important. So that's as important, I would say, as law of attraction. Because here's the thing. There's a bunch of people know a whole bunch of stuff about law of attraction, aren't manifesting anything. You got to be careful who you listen to. Somebody the other day said, would you take a business coaching class from somebody who hasn't had a job in 5 years? I hope not. I'm just saying, maybe that's not the right person to take a class like that from. So you gotta kind of look to the source. You know what I mean? Okay. So drawing upon spirit as your source for support and encouragement. So one of the ways we can do this, because I always tell you, I'm a how girl. okay? You can give me all kinds of good information and good insight all day long. I'm not going to be that excited until you tell me how to do it. Okay, and that's with Sabbatical, I will tell you, and with Illumina too. Part of my goal for you guys really is to give you some tactical suggestions, some how. Because if I just go, yeah, you just ask, believe, receive, and just all of a sudden just all this shit shows up in your life, I don't think you're going to stick with me for very long. I'm trying to show you kind of the nitty gritty and give you some exercises for how to do this. So here's what I want to say about this. The mantras, man, by the way, means mind, and tra means free from, free from. So the mantras mean free from the mind, okay? And what it does is it gets you out of your head and into your heart. All mantras that we work with are Sanskrit mantras, and so this is an ancient language of the Indian culture and people, and it's a truly divine language. To me, Sanskrit in some, you know, I appreciate it. To me, Sanskrit in so many ways is like the language of the gods. You know, when I say a mantra in Sanskrit, I feel like I'm so divinely connected. So I want to tell you a few things about mantras, and then I want to share with you how I use mantras during the believe stage to hold and anchor space for what I'm trying to manifest. So hopefully you're really going to enjoy what I'm going to tell you about for the next 5 or 10 minutes. And then we're actually going to do it together. We're going to repeat a mantra 108 times together. And I want you to, we're going to do this with your intention, whatever it is that you're working on right now. We're going to anoint with our perfume and light our candle and everything too. So make sure you have all of your tools. The stones, by the way, that we're working with for Believe are clinozoisite, natural emerald clinozoisite, which is super rare, natural emerald, which is all about holding space, anchoring space, and then chert, which is a stone that Native Americans have always used ceremonially. Their pipes, their sacred tools, everything is carved out of chert. And so it's this really important, again, an anchoring stone to help support you while you hold the space for believing. That's right. Yes. Okay, cool. Are you ready? And don't let me forget about the giveaway of the hematite mala. One of you is going to love this. It's heavy, though. Just know that if you choose to receive this one, it's not, hematite is, so it's a heavy mala. You can still wear it all day, but it definitely, you're going to feel it. Okay, so what are mantras? Mantras to me are mini meditations. I took some notes to be able to tell you everything I wanted to say. They're mini meditations. The reciting of mantras reduce physical stress in the body. This is through clinical trial. This isn't just woo-woo, airy-fairy, Athena telling you something. There are clinical studies to show that mantras actually reduce the level of stress in the brain. They change your brain chemistry, in fact, and so they can shift you from sadness to happiness, from anxiety to peace. And so that's why, and by the way, the chert is this one, the question that you're asking. This is chert. And this is emerald. Yeah? These are divine heart chakra stones, and that's because the work of the mantras is to return you to the heart space, to get you free from the mind, mantra, free from the mind, and back residing in the heart space. So why do we repeat mantras 108 times? Why do your malas, if you're getting this mala, it has 108 beautiful beads on it. Why do they have 108 beads? That's because, at least according to this tradition, you have 108 energy centers in your body, total energy centers, what they call energy channels. The word is nadi, N-A-D-I. So you have 108 of these nadi, or these energy channels in your body. When you recite the mantra 108 times, you literally are pushing that energy, that sound, into every energy channel in the body. And when all of those energy channels are full, it is an automatic alignment. So you set the intention. You set the intention that every time you recite the mantra, it's going to go into an energy channel, and we'll do that together. Then you recite the mantra. We're going to do a very short one, 108 times, and then you sit quietly for a minute to integrate, and you just allow that. You allow that to happen. Okay. So think of them as like sort of bit frequencies or energy sound frequencies, or energy formulas, I should say, energetic sound formulas, little bitty formulas that go in and fill these energy channels and activate and align all of these energy centers in your body, and that you fill to 108. Yes, that green shirt, because we sort of owned the exclusive rights to it for a long time, is also known as Sage Goddess Stone. That's right, but it's so important ceremonially, it had to be. It's one of the stones I have used for manifestation for a long time, is the chert, because of its ceremonial significance to Native Americans. they believe that anything that Chert touched, which is why they did their pipes out of it and they carved their tools out of it, they believe that anything that Chert touched was blessed by all of the nature deities. So it's very sacred for that reason. Okay, so how do you know if you've got 108? This is your guru bead, so this is your main bead. You don't count that one. So you start to the left, this is my left, of the guru bead. You count all the way around until you get here to the last bead. Then what you can do is choose to go all the way back around counterclockwise and complete at the guru bead. And then your 1 minute integration. We're just going to do once around the 108 together. And guess what? It's so funny, Colin, that's actually on my notes. It's actually on my notes. 108 equals 9, exclamation mark. Colin and I are intellectual soul sisters. So funny. Yeah, so if you can do your mantras 108 times, any of them, that's ideal. 108 times. But you know, that kind of discipline is important in the Buddhist tradition, right? That kind of discipline to sit in meditation and to repeat that mantra over and over and over again. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to anoint again with Believe, calling in all of our guides for all the sisters in this circle as we work with these sacred tools. That sandalwood is something else. It's the most beautiful pure sandalwood. I hope you guys have loved it. It's really hard to find pure sandalwood, and the amount that we put in that perfume was substantial because I really wanted you to have the strength of it. And then I'm going to light my Believe, my first tea light. And so as when we work with our perfumes, we're working with the element of water. When we work with our tea lights, we're working with the element of fire. When we work with our stone, we're calling an element of earth. Oh, how beautiful is that? That's so awesome. And then when we extinguish our candle, we're working with the element of air. And so when we do ritual, that's why I always work with candles, with stones, and with perfumes, because I can anchor the 4 cardinal directions and elements in my work. And it's so funny because so much of what I've done with Sage Goddess, even now, I made a perfume today called As Above, So Below. I had a whole dream about it last night that I was supposed to make it. They said it was the missing piece in all of my manifestation perfumes. And so it has a note for the lower realm, a note for the middle realm, and a note for the upper realm. It's one of the best perfumes I've ever made. Made it today. It's not coming till July 1st. But I'm sharing this with you because everything I've done with Sage Goddess has been very, very guided. And I was directed. You have to have a candle, perfume, and a stone in everything you do. So if you ever wondered why all my ritual sets have those, it's because it was reinforced to me in all of my building of what I do that I had to anchor the 4 elements all the time. Kind of funny, huh? Okay, so choose the stones. I would recommend 2. I'm feeling really called to the emerald and the clinozoisite. That wisdom, discernment, connection, surrender, trust, connection to the heart space, knowing that, with clinozoisite, it's the complete, pure, heart-based intention. So clinozoisite, if you feel like you've gotten off track, clinozoisite will bring you right back and make sure that everything is coming from that heart center. Does that make sense? So I'm going to work with those 2. Just holding that intention. If you want to really work with the essential oils, 3 deep inhales will really anchor you into the scent. Okay, I'm going to keep these here. So there's 3 mantras I want to tell you about tonight. Actually 4 mantras I want to tell you about tonight. And then I can post these if you'd like. What I can do is make memes out of them maybe for our sabbatical group so that you have them in written form and you can see them. But we'll just say them together. Now, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, is a very traditional blessing in the Hindu faith, in the Hindu tradition. And so one of the translations, this is actually from Diva Premal, is, may the elements of my creation abide in me in full manifestation. That's one translation. Not a literal translation, but more of a sort of a round translation. May the elements of my creation abide in me in full manifestation. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. That's a beautiful one. So I will. So don't write anything down. Just listen for just a few minutes. Now, this is one that we did with Diva Pramal in Los Angeles here about, what was it, a week and a half ago I was there with them. And so we actually repeated this one 108 times. I'm going to do a different one tonight for peace, but you can do this one too. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. And that one means I bow down to the divine spirit, which is really good for believe. And so we did that 108 times. Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 And it requires a discipline, but you also fall into a deep meditation when you do that. So good. Okay. And then the next one. So you hear the word namaha at the end of a lot of mantras. Namaha means I offer. It is like a sacred offering that you make at the end of a mantra. So this is one of my favorites. It's another one that you hear in a beautiful Diva Pramal song. Om Gam. Om means God. Gam is a shortened name for Ganesh. Ganapataye. Ganapataye means I activate the oneness. Namaha. And I make an offering. Okay, so this is for obstacle removal. If there's an obstacle you need to remove out of your life, and again, I'll make the meme for you. Once you start to see it, and once you start to hear it, like if you go and download Diva's version of these, it'll help you remember it too, because you'll start to sing it and the words will come easy. So Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Okay. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 And you can see how it becomes very soothing and very relaxing. There's a beautiful long, honestly, if you want to hear one of the most beautiful songs I think has ever been recorded, and one of my favorite mantras, but it's long, but I actually sing it with my daughter. She always falls asleep if I sing this one, is the Gayatri mantra by Diva Pramal. And she has a bonus version. It's like a bonus track. You'd have to look on iTunes and find it. It's absolutely my favorite. It's too long for me to teach you in this context. I will tell you though, do you know that our next round of flash tattoos are Sanskrit mantras? So you'll actually be able to wear, you know, Om Shanti Om on your arm. And some of these mantras too. So it'll actually help you remember, because you'll look down on your arm during the day and you'll have the Sanskrit on your arm. Wouldn't you love that? So good. Okay, and then, so probably the easiest mantra is Om Shanti Om, which means God, peace, God. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti is peace. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. If you're ever feeling just down and afraid, all you have to do is go Om Shanti 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 Om Shanti 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 Om Shanti 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 Om Shanti 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, and you will call in the most beautiful, divine, centering peace. Now, Sabrina's noticing that I turn the beads. That's my own little kind of like habit. I don't think you have to, and if you have beads that don't turn, that's okay too. I've never really seen a mullet that didn't, and so it kind of like helps me. I don't know if that makes sense, but you don't have to. And I will do a phonetic English translation for all of your mantras, okay? That's right. A lot of Diva Pramals are in the 108, so that they give you the number that you need to actually recite. That's why some of her songs are so long, okay? So we're just going to do Om Shanti together, okay? Because the number one thing I think you need to get through this belief stage, because when you believe, the universe affirms. The number one thing I think we need for this belief stage is peace. Because when we have peace, when we know that what we seek is also seeking us, and that it's arriving in perfect time, when we have that peace, I think it's much easier for us to wait on spirit time. You know, it's like when we have that anxiety, is it happening? Will it happen? What if it doesn't happen? I think that's where our patience wears out, you know, where our faith sort of runs out. So would you like to do Shanti with me? Om Shanti 108 times. Are you ready? It's so beautiful. Carmen says Om Shanti is how she ends her children's yoga class each week. What a beautiful synchronicity that is. You know, Om is the sound of the name of God. That's why I love it so much. I love that it's not God. It's the sound of God's name. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying this. Okay, so Sarah, if you don't have the beads, you're not out of luck. You just repeat along with me. I'm going to keep the count with my mala, though. So if you ask yourself, well, how do I know if I've done it 108 times? You're not going to use your hands. You use your mala. This is how you keep track. That's what malas are for. Okay, so I would just say, Sarah, I would love for you to just repeat with me, and I'll keep track for you. I'll count for you. You ready? Om Shanti. So beautiful. Take a nice deep cleansing breath before we begin. Setting the intention that with each repetition, we're calling in a deeper level and layer of peace, surrendering to our vision for our creation so that we can believe. Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti. And then just 1 minute of integration. So good. So good. So Karen's asking. Marga says this calmed her puppy down. I love it. I love it. So you don't have to say it out loud. No, you can just say it right to yourself. I mean, your communication with spirit is always happening. So whether you're uttering the words or just keeping it to yourself and saying it within, isn't it beautiful? And then the longer your mantras become, Om Namo Narayanaya, 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 Om Namo Narayanaya. And then there are just one-word mantras. So Shreem, S-H-R-E-E-M, Shreem is the one-word mantra for Lakshmi, for the prosperity goddess. Did you know that? So you could literally just do, if you want to call in, Om Mani Padme Hum is another beautiful one. If you just want to call in prosperity for yourself, a lot of people don't know this, but it's a very effective technique. Shreem, 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 108 times. And so what I'd love to do, if you guys are into this, is do some of these memes. Maybe give you a couple of the one-word mantras like Shreem. and then do some of the like 3-word mantras, you know, the Om Mani Padme Hum, the 4-word mantras, and just give you some of the basics. And then what we can do too in the group is start to link to some good YouTube videos to listen to, you know, the masters really perform these mantras, because I think it will really bring. Isn't that true? It's so true. Colin said, I feel like the distance between all of us dissolved. I'm telling you guys, you know, and it makes me want to cry. Like, I don't know why I'm tearing up, but it's just sort of like, you know, this is the real work. And it looks really easy on the outside. What people don't know, you know, for those of us who are holding space for the collective consciousness right now, I mean, I think all of us are holding space for each other. You know, there's a lot that happens behind the scenes. And this, when we talk about building a spiritual practice, again, I'm a how person. People say, well, how do I build a spiritual practice? I don't even know how to meditate. The beautiful thing about a mala is, how easy is this to put in your purse and go to the beach? How easy is this to put in your purse and go sit in the park? How easy is this to carry around? How easy is this to keep by your bedside table? You know, I mean, it's sort of like my ancestors' worry beads in a way, right? This is old, but this is what the masters do. And this is the other thing I want to say really quickly before we finish this ritual for our manifestation work tonight. You know, a lot of us have left behind the practices of the masters because they almost seem too simple to us now, like really a mala for manifestation. And so we try to like find these like other ways or these elevated, and it's like, no, the magic is in the return. You know, I think we do have lots of ways of evolving what we know and what we do, but the magic is in the return and in the honoring of the old ways. So anyway, I honor you. And yes, the worry beads, the rosaries, I mean, this is not a new tool. And yet for many of us, I mean, I don't know about you, maybe a lot of you were very familiar with them before tonight, but I bet some of you weren't. And that's why I was like, what a beautiful way for me to teach you about a tool, something that we even offer at Sage Goddess and have since Sage Goddess was born, right? But it's like, you know, coming back with intention to talk about how. The what is not interesting to me. The how is interesting to me. So what I want you to do is take the 2 stones that you felt called to work with tonight. I want you to hold them in your hands. Guides and elders of this space. The Sabbatical does have its own guides, its own elders. To all of the guides and elders and guardian spirits of every woman who sits in circle with me now and in other times, I call upon you to bless every woman in this circle with divine patience and peace during this believe period, while she's anchoring in her faith, while she's surrendering and trusting in a divine and benevolent universe that supports her at every turn. Help her to anchor into her faith and to trust and believe that everything she desires is already on its way to her. Already on its way to her. And help her to know this in every cell and every fiber of her being so that she can completely just soften and relax and enjoy the process, because, universe, we know that you celebrate us when we celebrate the process, and we know that you clamp down on us when we celebrate outcome. And so tonight we celebrate process. We celebrate being in the middle of things, as they used to say in the Greek epic Latin and Greek traditions. There's a saying, a phrase, in medias res, and that's how the great epic stories always start, in medias res, in the middle of things. And so we know that the blessing of manifestation really happens in the middle of things. So let us be busy. Let us have busy hands and busy minds. Let us be grateful for the process. Thank you for coming to us in the middle of things, guides and elders and guardian spirits. I ask that you bestow blessings upon each woman as she watches and listens tonight, that all of her dreams will manifest for her in perfect form, divine time, and complete alignment with her soul's higher calling. And so in service of believing, we say Amen, Aho, and so it is. Everything I'm sharing with you tonight feels so channeled, I have to tell you. Not that it isn't always, but there is there's an intensity to the vibration on my side tonight. I feel that. And so tonight we choose to believe. May it serve us well. And as we engage with the smoke and we embrace that element of air to complete our beautiful circle tonight, we give thanks for blessings already on their way. Isn't that right? Karen says, doesn't all feel well. Thank you for doing ritual with me tonight. And I was like, what if they don't want to do ritual? And I thought to myself, and I'm like, have they ever not wanted to do ritual before? Cheers. Yeah, so Christine has a question about the Ask Ritual. Go ahead, and I'll try to make sure I keep an eye on the feed while we're talking. So I want to do the giveaway. I want to show you your next set of tools and answer any questions that you have. You are so, so, so welcome. It's important to do ritual. I like to learn about ritual, but one of the best ways to learn about ritual is by doing it. And what I try to do is give you a lot of different examples of how to, and I should close the circle, thanking all of the great guardians of the 4 divine gateways for your blessings upon the circle tonight. We release you from your service. Let me see if I can get to that question about the question here about the ask. What do we do with the stone we kept with us from the Ask Ritual? So ideally, you're building an altar. And so you could choose to put all of your stones on that altar, because all of the stones from these kits, it could be 1 or it could be 2 or it could be 3, are sort of building this pathway. It's an incremental, it's sort of like I'm trying to think of the right word. They're building upon each other. So you should have a sacred altar space for the work that we're doing for the year, and that stone should be there when it's not with you. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, and what I'm hoping you do is maybe you take a little bit from me and other people that you learn from and learn with and from each other, and you make your own practice. And I think that's my hope and desire, is that I inspire you a little bit, and then you're like, you know what, I like what she shared. I'm gonna make it my own by doing this other thing, and then you go off and then when I see you do that, I get inspired. That's what's really exciting for me, because you guys take it and it's liftoff. You go off in a beautiful new direction. So our color palette is changing because we're moving into the crown chakra with receive, because truly all of our blessings come from source. And so believing is a heart space exercise. Receive is crown. So you're receiving your beautiful receive tea light holder with your receive tea lights. You're receiving receive perfume. Integra, which I'm actually going to use right now to integrate that Om Shanti. Integra is actually exactly the right blend to use after your 108. When you do your 1-minute integration, this is the perfume that you should be using. Integra, by the way, the notes in Integra, like I said, are amber, oak moss, and that beautiful Indian sandalwood. And then here's what I wanted to tell you about your set. Okay? There's infinite in your set. I don't know if you're familiar with infinite from Africa, but when I was first studying stones, this was one of the stones that the person who was teaching me at the time said, listen, this is infinite. I think he had 2 or 3 pieces of it tumbled in his shop at all, because you just can't find infinite. It's very, very rare. This was brought to Tucson for us. I've been saving it for this kit. We don't have infinite outside of the kit, so it's almost worth the kit because of how special infinite is. And then you're getting yellow fluorite, which will seal the manifestation cycle, and another kind of amethyst I've never offered you before, which is from Zambia. A lot of them have these phantom growths inside. Do you see that right there? The phantom in there? It's the most beautiful dark purple amethyst. So that is for receive. And like I said, Integra comes automatically. You don't have to have a code or anything. It's just your free gift with the set. So let me see if you guys have... Isn't it beautiful? I'm trying to kind of outdo myself every month. It's really hard because I think they're all really pretty. So that's for you in the shop. And so what I would love to do, like I said, I'm going to go and I'm going to make these memes for you. Give me a couple days to spin up the first one, and then I'll come up with a series of them. And then what I would love to do is have you commit to reciting the ones that I post in the group, and then maybe comment with your experience. What are you experiencing with Om Namah Shivaya? What are you experiencing with Om Mani Padme Hum? What are you experiencing with Tumari Darshan Ki Bela? It's like all these different ones. What's your experience with it? Are you feeling the happiness? Are you feeling the joy? Are you feeling the contentment? Are you feeling the peace? Are you feeling the prosperity? Working with Shreem, 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 Shreem. So keep me posted, and that'll be a good way for us to dialogue and also share our experiences. And then what would be really, really cool is if there's other mantras that I'm not mentioning that you want to work with, you guys can contribute those as well. Maybe just one line, with the mantra and the translation, so that we can all integrate it. Would be really, really beautiful. But I think YouTube links will be really fun and helpful too, because there's something about hearing it. I don't know what you think, but for me, when I hear it, I never forget it. I can read it all day long. Maybe it's how I learn, right? But I really like to listen to the music too. I wish I could play it for you, but so if I play music for you that's licensed, then I can't save this video on YouTube, and you can't watch it later. So it kind of limits what I can do there. That's why we're trying to record more of our own music here at Sage Goddess. that we can play as much as we want. All right, you guys, I love you very much. Thank you so much for being here, especially those of you who are new or just first or second time. It's been a blessing to have you here. Those of you who've been here for a long time, it's always a blessing to have you here too. With love from my heart to yours. I will be on Oahu for the summer solstice, and so we're going to be doing ritual from there. Very excited about that. I'm going to be doing some special work there for you as well, so stay tuned for some fun from there. If it's possible, I'm going to try and do a live from there for you with a little ritual, so it'll depend on our internets, but we will certainly try to do that for you as well. But with all my heart, lots of love. I'll see you guys soon. Take good care. Oh, no, the giveaway. Ah! The giveaway. Okay. Who's feeling called to probably the most grounding mala? And you know what I'll do? I will write down a grounding mala or a mantra for you, and I'll send it with the mala so that you know what to say. Yay! Who feels called to it? Mala, 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 mala. I think I know who it is. It's another one of those cases where earlier in the night. Hold on, let me find my comment feed situation. Earlier in the night, I saw her, and something said that giveaway is for her. So I just wanted to make sure I saw her just now, and that she commented that she wants it, and she did. So Christine Huber, I saw you earlier tonight, girl, and as soon as I saw your name in the feed, I was like, this mala is for her. So Christine, with a heart full of love, I already charged it up. The ancestors have already given it their blessing. So I'm going to write down a quick grounding mantra for you, and I'll ship this off to you tomorrow. Just PM me, Christine, so I make sure I have your exact right perfect address to ship this to you. Enjoy. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. That was fun, Christine, to connect with you tonight energetically. I hope it's a huge blessing to you. Truly, from my heart to yours. Good night, everybody. I'll see you soon.